Hello everyone, welcome to DeCodeDev. Today we'll be talking about data types in JavaScript. So let's get started. So basically, we can categorize data types into two types. One is primitives, and one is non-primitive. Okay, so we'll see one by one what are primitive data types and what are non-primitive data types and what is the difference between these two. So let's talk about the first primitive data type, which is string. Okay, so a string is basically anything inside the double quotes. Okay, so how do you define a string? So suppose I'll take let name is equals to, okay, let's take Alice. Okay, and if you want to know like what is the type of this, so you can simply say console.log. There is a top operator called type of name, and it will print it. Yes, so the type of name is string, and the second one is number. Okay, how do you represent number? Let suppose take anything. Suppose age is equals to 25, and it will try to print console.log type of age. We'll get number. So to represent numbers, we have numbers. And the third one is Boolean. Okay. So how do you represent Boolean? Let suppose I say is Boolean is equals to true. If I say console.log is Boolean, but we have to find the type of is Boolean. So it should give us, can you say Boolean? Okay. And then we have two special types. One is undefined. Right. This we have seen in the previous chapters in hoisting, where if you are not defining any value, so undefined is basically assigned to a variable. Yes. So you can also manually do that, but it is not advisable to assign undefined to it. So if I say suppose if I say let x and if I say console dot log x, it will give us undefined because there is no value we have assigned to it, right? And one more special data type that we have is null, right? So what null represents? So null represents the absence of the value, which means the value itself is not present. Yes, and what is undefined? So the value, so basically you have defined the variable, but you have not assigned a value to it. So that is called undefined, right? And there is something called BigInt, right? So BigInt basically represent the number which are beyond handling of number data type, right? We also have number data type. So whatever number we cannot represent using number data type, then we use BigInt to handle the larger numbers, right? So these are all the primitive types. Now let's talk about the non-primitives, right? So what are the non-primitives? So first one is the object itself. Yes. What is object? Object is nothing but key value pair. Key value pair. And how do you represent it? So suppose I say let uh, name an object and I'll have two property. First, John, right? And last, so I'm giving two properties. Suppose do. Yes. And if I say console.log type of name, it should give us object. Yes. So this is one of the non-primitive data types, and second one is array. And how do you define arrays in JavaScript? So basically just say let number and array symbol, and you can put number inside it. Right. But what it will give us if I say console.log type of numbers, what it will give? So if you see, it is still giving us object. So array is also object in JavaScript. And then we have function, right? So this is a function is what? Function is callable object, right? Because we can call the function, so that's why it is callable object. And how do you define function? Suppose you say function hello. Yes, and inside this you can say console.log the string hello. Now if I say console.log, what is the type of this hello. Yes. So the type of hello is function, right? And how do you call the function? You just simply write hello and then call it. Yes. So it is printing hello. And there are like many more non-primitive types. You can say like date is there, right? Regex is there. So yeah, so there are multi more, plenty of the data types that you can read. So these were the major ones that I had to cover. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.